Hi guys! I am officially back from Japan and I wish I was still in Japan. I had such an amazing time and I really don't want to be back at work. I've actually been home for a couple weeks now. I got my wisdom teeth extracted last week. That was unpleasant. I can still sort of feel it, but I would 100 times rather be in Japan still than here in pain and going to work again, so that sucks. I have a vlog of my trip coming soon, but for today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm a little bit late, but I just got back, so we're gonna go with it. The first question is the best book you've read so far this year, and I'm going to say The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is the third book in the Broken Earth trilogy, which is set in a world that is out to destroy humanity, and it's so good. It's a critically acclaimed series. All of these books have won a ton of awards, but my favorite book was definitely the third book, the final book, because you get all of the answers and it's so satisfying after a whole series of just questions and confusion and wanting to know what actually happened in the past. This one, it actually tells you what happens in the past and it made me so very happy. The world building in the series is incredible, which makes this book with the history of the world that much better. There's magic and conspiracies and different races of people and it's just so interesting and so well done. Question 2 is the best sequel I've read so far this year, and that goes to The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. I loved this book so much more than I thought I would. I was sort of lukewarm about the first book. It's set in historic Russia and it follows a girl who can see all of the different creatures of Russian folklore and fairy tales. And while I enjoyed the first one, I felt it was very, very slow. The pacing in this book is much better. There's a lot more happening in the plot. The world expands and you also get to learn more about the characters, which I really loved. But I think one of my favorite things about this series is the atmosphere. It just feels so frigid and cold, like you're in this Russian winter, and it's so beautifully written. So I really enjoyed this second book in the Winter Night trilogy, and I'm looking forward to finishing it and reading the third book probably this winter. It is proving to be very challenging to film today between interruptions and construction noise and no AC in my really hot apartment, and it's just not working out. Question 3 is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to, and I'm going with Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganusho. I can't speak French. This is an adorable graphic novel about two boys and a bakery in the summer, I think. I don't really know much about it, but it looks so cute. The art looks amazing. It's all in these tones of blue, and I really want to get to it. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm very excited for it. Question 4 is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and I think for me that's Cursed by Thomas Wheeler. This comes out on October 1st, and it's a sort of King Arthur retelling, except Excalibur chose the Lady of the Lake, Nimue, instead of Arthur. So it's sort of a gender swap, but it's also kind of not, because Nimue is already an original character from the story, so I'm really interested to see how that will go. I'm hoping it'll be very good, and it looks promising. Question 5 is biggest disappointment. Well-Tempered Clavicle by Piers Anthony. I've talked about this quite a few times. This is part of the Xanth series, which I absolutely love. It's set in the magical world Xanth, and it's all based on puns, and it was so good in the beginning, and it got so incredibly bad by this book. The level of writing definitely deteriorated through the series, and it ended up with this book that's just utter garbage. The writing is poor, the plot is poor, the storytelling is poor, the characters are poor. Literally, there's nothing good about this book whatsoever. It even made the world that I love so much look just atrocious and obnoxious and awful. The characters are so simple-minded and not at all unique. Anyone could have said any line of dialogue in here and they all would have sounded the same. There's no personality there. There's so much over-sexualization. It's just so stupid and annoying, and it makes me so mad and so upset because I loved this series growing up. It made me love fantasy, and the fact that it deteriorated to this is just really upsetting. So this is definitely my biggest disappointment of the year. Question 6 is biggest surprise, and I'm going to go with The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. This is a classic sci-fi, and I did not expect to like it as much as I did. Sci-fi is not my genre, and especially old sci-fi is not anything that I have any experience with, so I didn't really know what to expect from it, but I definitely liked it more than I thought I would. It's a compilation of short stories about Mars that were later combined into a sort of semi-cohesive story. A lot of it is definitely false considering all of the knowledge that we have about Mars now, but it's still made for really interesting stories. I was mesmerized by the sort of painting that Ray Bradbury made of Mars and the Martians that lived there and how the planet looked and how like the aliens interacted with the humans and what happened with the humans, and everything seemed like at some point believable, but at the same time like not, because it's sci-fi, and it was just so interesting and something new for me. And part of that may be because I don't read much sci-fi, but I think part of it is also because Ray Bradbury is just an incredible writer. So I really enjoyed the Martian Chronicles, and it definitely took me by surprise. Question 7 is favorite new author, and I'm going to say J.Y. Yang. I read the first book of the Tensorit series recently, The Black Tides of Heaven, and I really enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the world so much. I wish there was a little bit more story because it is a novella, but it's definitely something that I want to continue in. It's really hard to describe what The Black Tides of Heaven is about, but it's basically set in an Asian-inspired world with magic, and yeah, I literally don't know how to explain this book. It's very good. A lot of people really like it, myself included, and I would definitely recommend it if you are interested in Asian fantasy at all. There's also the additional little bonus that it has non-binary rep in it, so all of the children in this world are born without a gender, and then they get to choose what gender they want to be whenever they feel like they know. So that also adds to the story and makes it that much more interesting. I am definitely going to be reading the rest of the series and probably anything else that this author puts out. I think they're currently working on a full-length novel, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but I'm very excited for that because hopefully that will be more satisfying for me. Number 8 is newest fictional crush, and I'm going to say Ryuji from Harumatsu Bokura by Anashin, or Waiting for Spring. He's one of the side characters. He's part of the basketball team, but he's just so adorable in the way that he pines after Nana. It's so cute. You can see his devotion to her and how he's just trying to impress her and make her love him, and it's just so adorable. He's so sweet and so I love him so much. And Waiting for Spring is definitely a series I would recommend. I enjoy that series so much. It's a fluffy little shoujo about a girl and her like 4 friends on the basketball team, and it's just freaking adorable and so sweet, and it's nothing particularly special, but at the same time it's just so enjoyable that it doesn't really need to be. The art is beautiful, the characters are very lovable, and I'm really enjoying it. I think there's 2 more volumes that need to come out and then it's done. I saw them when I was in Japan and I was tempted to buy them, but I can't read kanji, so that would have been a problem. Probably should have bought them anyway. Too late now. I'll just wait for the English editions to come out so I can actually understand the story and actually enjoy them to the utmost capacity. For number 9, newest favorite character, I'm going to go with Prince Henry from Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McKiston. A lot of people are saying Alex from this book for this question or question 8, but I actually think I prefer Prince Henry, which is really interesting. But it's about the son of the president and a prince of England falling in love, and it's so funny and sweet and heartwarming. It's hilarious and it fills me with so much hope and happiness, but particularly Prince Henry is just the sweetest guy. He's very dry and sarcastic as like typical British humor, which I enjoy very much. He has his struggles, but he works hard to overcome them, and he's very straightforward, and I was always rooting for him. I enjoy his character so much. I enjoy the whole book so much, but I definitely think Prince Henry is one of my newest favorite characters. Question 10 is a book that made you cry. It's not very hard to make me cry, but one that actually surprised me was Heir of Navron by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the third book in the Rhaenyra Revelations, and I just finished it recently, so I'll go over it more in my July wrap-up. But there were parts of this final book that made me cry when I wasn't expecting to. The writing and the storytelling and the plot aren't the best in my opinion, so I was very surprised when I actually felt something. That sounds really sad, but there was a certain section of moments in this book that I don't know if it was just because I was on a plane reading them and something about elevation makes you cry easier, but then I was also reading it when I was at my layover in South Korea, so that was on the ground and I was still crying. So I don't really know, but I got very emotional dealing with Gwen and everything that happens with her and the things that she says that end up like, I'm trying to make this not spoilery, the things that she says that end up coming up throughout the book, I would say. It's very hard not to spoil anything when it's the third book in a trilogy, but just know that Gwen in particular made me cry in this book. Question 11 is a book that made you happy, and I have to go with Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I love this book so freaking much. It makes me so incredibly happy. It's super silly and sweet and whimsical and fantastical. It's about a girl who gets cursed and then she gets taken in by this very eccentric wizard, and it's just the cutest story. All of the character dynamics and interactions are just so sweet and heartwarming, and the quirky magic elements thrown into this world just make me smile. Maybe part of it is a nostalgia thing because I have read this book before. This was a reread and I remember loving it. It definitely elicits a very strong, happy response in me, so that's definitely the book that made me the happiest this year so far. Oh wait, but also my answer to the next question. Question 11 is the most beautiful book you obtained this year, and I've only bought 2 books this year, so by default it's these 2, but at the same time they're also so beautiful to me. These are Fruits Basket Volume 1 and 2 by Takaya Natsuki, and I love this series so much. This is one of my favorite series of all time. It's about this girl who is recently orphaned and she gets taken in by a very interesting and mysterious family, and there's a little bit of a supernatural twist, and it's just so cute and adorable, and I love the series so much. If you haven't seen my reading vlog, I recently reread this whole series as I prepared for the anime reboot that has been coming out, which I absolutely love. It's so good. It makes me so happy. I could squeal about it for like literal hours, but these books are beautiful because they're filled with art, so of course they're going to be beautiful. It's definitely a dated style, that's for sure, but I still love it. I love this story so freaking much, and the new anime has beautiful art. So if this is too old for you, I would definitely recommend the anime, or if manga is not something you read, I would definitely try the anime because it's doing such a good job of adapting this manga. I'm so happy with it. I'm so happy with it. I'm thinking of doing a video at some point in the future comparing the manga specifically to some events in the anime, so kind of doing comparisons because the anime is adding a few new scenes that weren't in the manga, and I think they're such good additions. I'm really enjoying them, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in so I can get that out faster, because right now it's like really far down the list. Even though I love this series so much, please read this series. If you haven't heard me talk about this series, I have mentioned it in my top manga video and my reading vlog, and literally like at any point ever in the world that I find to mention it, I mention it because I love it. And the last question, question 13, is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? There are a few series that I definitely want to continue by the end of the year. The Winter Night trilogy, the Tenserate series. But the main book that I think I want to get to definitely before the end of this year is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I've had this book on my shelves for years now, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up because it seems like something I would absolutely love. It's a character-driven sci-fi story set in space, like on a spaceship with a bunch of different people, and it sounds so perfect for me. It's supposed to be a little bit slower paced and more of like a deep dive into different characters, and I love that, or I feel like I will love that, so I definitely want to pick up this book. It's been here long enough. I need to just pick it up and read it because I think I'm gonna love it. And that's it. We finally made it to the end. It was such a struggle filming this video. You have no idea. Oh my gosh, I am out of practice, and this proves to be much harder to get back into than I imagined. But I will be getting back to making more videos now that I'm home, which is both nice and kind of sad because I wish I was still in Japan. At least I get to read more books and film more videos, so I will see you later. Bye. Why'd you look at me and then burp?
Ma! Ma! I wonder if one of their children impregnated them.
Why the fuck did you put it in upside down?
What?
The Kit Kats? Those are really good.
Which one? The peach?
The peach ones? The peach Kit Kats?
Oh, I know.
Oh my god.
I ate a lot.
What?
I ate like 3.
Wow, I had none. Until now.